G'day folks, Rod from My Water Filter here today, and what I just want to talk to you about is a reverse osmosis system and installing it into your home, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, obviously there's a lot of different companies in the world that are creating reverse osmosis systems, and they do have differences, but generally they're all the same. Okay, they're all run on a similar process, all right, most of them, okay? If you see anything that's looking like this, regardless of the stickers and that sort of thing, they've normally got 4 connections on them, okay? And that's basically is water coming in, water going into the tank, wastewater going down the drain, and then the water comes back out the tank and the water goes up to the faucet, okay? So you've got 4 hoses. I'm going to show you on this one here because it's got different coloured hoses for each connection, so it should be good and easy for you to follow along with, and it is a beauty anyway. This is a 5-stage reverse osmosis system we have made in Sydney, Australia, and it's made predominantly with USA parts, but it is made here in Australia. It's got the Australian watermark on it, as you can see, but it could have no stickers on it at all. And it could be, so basically a quick overview on these systems. If this is a reverse osmosis system, you'll normally see the water coming in from the right hand side. Most mechanical filters, the water comes in from this side and you'll have sediment, carbon, whatever. But on these ROs, generally the water comes the opposite way. We're going in through a sediment cartridge. That's taking the lumps and bumps and dirt out of the water, all the same, sediment. Then it's coming through a carbon. That's taken out the chlorine, hopefully the chloramine, and other chemicals out of the water, which protects the membrane. So this big fat thing on the top, generally always sitting in that same position, whether it's a 4-stage, 5-stage, 6, 7 or 8 stages, these first 3 stages are generally all the same, because the first 3 stages are filtering the muck and dirt out of the water, and that's what we want, get it as clean as we can. So once we get the sediment and the chemicals out of the water, it comes up and it goes into this end of the reverse osmosis membrane. The membrane's wound inside. As the water travels through it, it splits the water, and what we will have is half the water going down the drain, which on this system is the black hose, and it does go through a flow restrictor, but it's just the black hose going down the drain, which is the waste, and the good water is going to go over and connect into the RO tank over here. Once that tank's full, she'll stop, and it's just full of water, and it's full of water of about 6 pH, because the membrane is just about taking everything out of the water, including the mineral. So minerals out, pH plummets, acidic water in the tank. Tank fills up. Then when you hit the faucet, the bag in the tank pushes the water back out. The water's coming along. Now on this system, it's got a nice big fat alkalizer on the top. This is an OMNIPURE USA alkalizer full of minerals. The water's going through it and it is elevating the pH up and getting, this will be quite high, like 9 pH. We'll take a 6 water in the tank through this membrane, probably up to 8 or 9 pH. Then the water's going through a carbon cartridge, and that's just to take the bite off it, and coconut carbon makes water taste beautiful, improves water dramatically. Even rainwater that people think tastes beautiful already, run it through some carbon and it gets even better. So we run it through the carbon, then it's coming up and out of the faucet, and we're good to go, we're good to drink that water. So this one's good because it's got a gauge on it as well. So if it wasn't creating water or something was wrong, you just look on the gauge, make sure you get enough water pressure and hitting here on the membrane. Why could the pressure drop away? Maybe there's not enough pressure on the pushing on the suburb, maybe the sediment, or more likely the carbon block cartridge hasn't been changed as required and it's just blocked up and the water just can't get through at a decent enough pressure to work this membrane. Because this membrane loves 60 psi of pressure, 60 pounds per square inch. Probably work okay down to about 40, struggle below that, probably won't even work. All the water will probably go to waste and not come out of this RO, out of the good water and into the tank. So you want about above 40, 60 is preferable, okay? So yeah, then it's all filtered and we're good to go. So what we'll do is have a quick look at putting it in. The last thing I'll touch on is the speed that this makes water. So when you connect it all up and you turn it on, the water's just going to dribble out the tap at 200 or 300 mils a minute, depending on the pressure you got in your house. So don't be alarmed. because these membranes filter the water down to like 0.0005 or 0.0001 micron, just super fine filtration, they filter the water very slowly, and it's only going to be going through 200 or 300 mils a minute, okay? So just be aware of that. They make the water slowly. That's why you've got a tank. The tank collects that water in it slowly. It's full of water, and then the bag, so you always got 9 litres, give or take, depending on the size of your tank, obviously, up your sleeve. Every time you hit this faucet, the bag in the tank is pushing the water up out of the faucet for you. The system realises that the water's been used, and it will straight away start making new water again and replenish and fill up the tank for you. All right, so here we go. We'll have a look at this one and we'll get this rolling, okay? So here's all our water hoses, plenty of length on there, and we'll just cut those to size, and I'll see how we go. I'll try not to cut too many off today. But you can see here, this is the water feed going into the sediment cartridge, and they've coloured it red. The reason it's red is because it hasn't been filtered and it's still chemical-ridden water, okay? So blue, the red hose is our feed water. So when we're setting up any reverse osmosis water filter, the first thing we're going to do is turn off the water. Now that can be the stop clock here under the sink. Just turn this tap off here. You've cut your water off. Failing that, go out the front of the home to the mains water meter and turn it off out there. Then come back inside, turn your tap on, make sure there's no water coming out and the pressure's released. Once you've done that, you know that you're good to go and there'll be no issues. Okay, so that's the feed in for the water. Okay, once we have got that connected up to the water coming in, then we're going to be looking to get rid of the waste water, all right? So on these systems here, the water comes in, sediment, carbon, and it goes in the membrane. Water always goes in this end of the membrane where the cap is on it. Then when it comes up to this end here, probably just sneak and see a bit in there, the top one here is the white pipe, and that's coming through and out the other side here, and that white pipe is pure filtered water, okay? The black hose in there, the black pipe, the black water hose, goes through the back here. There is a flow restrictor in there. Be pretty hard for you to see, but there's a flow restrictor in there that stops all the waste, all the water, because water obviously will always follow a path of least resistance. So as the water's coming through the membrane, if there's no flow restrictor to hold back pressure on the membrane, all the water will just go to waste straight out of the, or most of it out of this black hose. So there's a flow restrictor in there to push pressure back onto this membrane, and the waste water is coming out of this black hose. Now this black hose is going down the drain because it's waste, okay? And you can see I've already connected a 2-inch drain clamp onto here, and that black hose is connected onto that drain clamp for the water to go straight down the drain, okay? Very easy to install. Drill a hole in the side there, big enough for the hose to go in, and then you can just tighten up the screw and lock that thing into place, all right? Once you've got the drainage sorted out, then the next hose that we've got is the white hose. As I mentioned, water's going in the membrane, coming out this end, black down the drain, the white hose is going into the tank. Now, on these systems, the white hose there is connected up, as you can see, coming from the membrane, and it's going to go into that tank, okay? Once the tank's full, or whenever you hit the faucet, the water's going to get pushed by the bag in the tank. So the water goes down this pipe into the tank, but the water also comes back along this pipe to get out of the faucet. So it comes out of the system, out of the membrane, fills up the tank, you hit the faucet on the sink, the water comes back along the same pipe, it'll hit this T-piece here, there'll be a non-return valve in there so the water can't go backwards, and your water is coming up here through this T-piece here, and it's going, where are we? What have they done to that? Okay. Carbon membrane. Okay. Just, anyway, they're coming, what they've done on this system is, personally, they've got these around the wrong way. But we can still run with that, and I'll explain to you. So the water's coming out, and they're running it straight up through this carbon cartridge to polish the water up, okay? once the water's all polished up, you can see it changes from the white to blue, because now it's all polished up, cleaned up. The blue pipe comes along here. It's coming through the system, and the blue pipe's going back in here. This is the alkalizer full of minerals, okay? And then it goes through here. This is elevating the pH of the water. The water's eating the mineral that it wants to go from 6 back up. So the water eats this mineral up, probably make 9 pH water, and then here's the hose coming out of the system to go up to the faucet, ready to drink, okay? Now the reason I paused a moment ago is because I wouldn't have set it up like this. When the water comes on this main line, coming out of the tank, so we've got 6 pH water coming out of the tank, I would have brought it up here and I would have plugged it straight onto the alkalizer. I'd run the water through the alkalizer, get a good mixture of minerals into the water, and sometimes it can be a bit bitey and tasty, okay? If you're not used to high alkaline water, then I would have run it through this carbon cartridge, and coconut carbon really polishes the water up, makes it taste beautiful. So I would have run it through the alkalizer first and then through the carbon and then drink it, and I'll tell you that'll be magnificent, beautiful, tasty water. This will make amazing water, this, even in the capital cities, full of anything, you know, all the chemicals that unfortunately get thrown in nowadays to deliver to your homes, but also pharmaceuticals, fire retardants, all the stuff we're finding in water supplies nowadays. This baby here will rip the whole lot out, okay? Rightio. So I hope that's a brief example, an overview of the system, and now all we're going to do is grab hold of it and put it in, okay? I might not screw it into the cupboard today. I'm sure you're aware that there's a couple of connections on the back here. So what I would do if this was me is you can basically, look, it's easy if you want to, might just show you that, is these will come off the top, all right? Okay, all of these cartridges are just pushed in with clips, cartridge clips to hold them on, okay? So you can lift the top off and hang it out the road, up under the cupboard, and you've got some clips in the back here, so you'll drill a couple of holes up underneath the sink, and then you'll simply be able to get hold of that system and clip it. Sorry about that. Clip it up onto your screws, okay? As you can see, these here do move around. They've been made so you can move them all over the place. You can even take them off. If all this was too high for the cupboard, you could even lift this off the top and just sit it in the cupboard down next to the rest of the system, okay? This basic part on the bottom is basically just a normal old mechanical twin filter, but then we've got the reverse osmosis bolted on the top of it, all right? So, a couple of holes in the back, 2 screws, that's what fixes it to the cupboard. So this thing will be just going up in the cupboard here. Does fit in there okay, and we'll just be screwing him straight into the back of the cupboard. Now we'll just pull our hoses out. We know what they're all for now. Okay, so first thing we would do, okay, so the situation here, this is our water feed going in. Here's a T-piece we've already put on. I won't worry about cutting this pipe, but normally I would cut that pipe there and we'll just push it straight into that T-piece, okay? Today, I'll just show you how he goes. We'll just get that hose and push it straight into that T-piece. Once that's in there, you can get a red clip. They're good to centralise. Basically get that red clip, push him on, spin him around, make sure it's locked in properly, and you're good to go. Water's coming into the system now, good to go. Black hose is our waste, okay? So the waste has to go down the drain. So we've already put our clamp on, so we're going to hit that black hose and just push that black hose straight into our drain clamp. So now any waste water is just going straight down the drain. It's all sealed up, locked up, and good and ready to go. Water going in, the water's getting made, the water's going into our tank. So we want to get this hose and push it into the top of the tank. When it's in line, it's on. When you turn the tap crossways, it's off. All right, I'll leave it on. That tank is basically going to go up inside the cupboard and just sit there like so. The tank can lay on its side, the tank can go upright, the tank can go any way that you would like it to sit in your cupboard where you can get it. You could get the tank and you can put the tank in this cupboard, okay? As long as this hose is long enough, you can put the tank in this cupboard, okay? This tank doesn't care. It'll sit anywhere you want. As long as you've got the hose going to it, she's good to go, okay? Then the water's coming back out of the tank through the top alkalizer and carbon cartridges as I suggested before. It's now beautiful, clean, filtered water, so we're good to go with the blue hose. So we just get the blue hose, connect it up, over the top, connect it onto our faucet, and we're installed. That's basically it. You've knocked it off, you've done it, congratulations. She's all installed, okay? At this point of time, this system is it's the same as any other system. Brand new cartridges need to be flushed. So what I would be doing now is you can turn on your faucet and you can come in under here and turn on the water, turn on the T-piece slowly, or go outside to the mains if that's what you had to do and turn the water on, then come back inside, turn the T-piece on slowly, because even though you use the mains to turn it off outside to start with, now that you've installed this little T-piece on here, you can just come inside and turn the water filter off now from this T-piece. And even if you go on holiday or something like that, just turn it off with the T-piece so there's no water in the filter while you're away. When you come here today and you go and you've installed it, you've turned your water back on, you turn your faucet on, the water's just going to dribble out 200 or 300 mils out of the faucet, okay? So turn the faucet off. Well, there's a couple of ways you can go. You can just leave that faucet on and just let the water dribble through the system for 24 hours. I honestly believe a faster way is to fill up the tank, and then when the tank's full after a few hours, hit the faucet and the bag will push the water out of that tank and flush the water through the system flat out, all right, till the tank's empty. So you'll turn it on, water will come out of the spout here, it'll be pouring in the sink 3 odd litres a minute, depending on the pressure of the bag, etc. So the water will come in. After about 9 litres, a minute or two, you're going to run out of water. When you run out of water, turn the tap off, fill it up again. When it's full, hit the tap, dump another load of water down the drain. I would do that at least 3 times minimum, okay? Straight up, dump the water in, dump 3 loads of tank straight down the drain over the next day or so. Once you've achieved that, you've really given the cartridges a good flush at a good old flow rate rather than just trickling through there for 24 hours, okay? Fill the cartridges up, get a good load of water in there and really get that water flushing through there and you'll be good to go. Obviously you cut your hoses to the correct length and things like that so it's nice and neat under the sink. But in a nutshell, gang, that's pretty much how you install just about any reverse osmosis system. You could have a situation where you've got, as I said to you before, this one here, a 5-stage. You could have brought it somewhere else and you could have a whole heap of cartridges stacked up here. You know, some people go crazy, other countries, and you'll see pumps on here and UV lights, all this sort of stuff. Generally overkill for Australia, we don't need it because we've got enough water pressure, etc. And this membrane shouldn't allow any bugs through it anyway, so you should be good to go. But there could be other remineralizers, ceramic infrared balls, you name it, okay? So it could have a whole heap of cartridges, but the start of them, sediment, carbon, membrane, generally all the same. After that, there could be a heap of cartridges on top, even seen an 11 stage at one time, okay? So bit wild and a bit expensive to replace the cartridges, but all good to go, and they all install the same way as what I'm trying to tell you. So I hope that helps. Give us a call if we can help in any way. My Water Filter, love to help you out in any way we can with your water. Thanks very much, folks.